is something I've been planning to do for a long time, and I never know when is the right time. Today might be the right time. So I don't know what's your why. What is the reason why you're buying my products or why you're following me? You know, it could be you're diabetic, you're celiac, just say the basics, you know, you might be dairy intolerant, or you have Crohn disease, or you have epilepsy, or you're going through cancer treatment, or you have Parkinson's disease, whatever you're, you know, and then not to forget the dieters, you might just want to lose weight, or you just want to feel better anyway. So I don't know what your why is, but I want to share with you my why. And listen to this, because this is not something you have heard before. This is the first time I'm telling you this, and this is something, it's a shocker for me too, because I didn't know for a long time, and I'm still slowly digesting it and coming to terms with it. So long story short, I have to go back well over 30 years ago. So my mother raised me as a single mother, so what it meant, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, who was my everything, and she gave me, you know, the love for, she taught me everything, you know, like all the useful stuff, like cooking and baking and sewing and hoovering and cleaning the dishes and going to the shop. But anyway, she taught me everything. So let's fast forward back now 40 years after that. So I was having a hard time trying to have a sibling for Zoe. So I had difficulties to conceive about 4 years ago, and well, a little bit more than that. And I had lots of other issues too, which, you know, thyroid problems, gut problems, reflux, sleeping problems, energy problems, fatigue. So which were just, these symptoms made my days unenjoyable and my nights super long. And so eventually I fell pregnant, but the pregnancy didn't last long. When I think went for the 9 weeks checkup, I was told that there's no heartbeat, which I wasn't prepared. There was not an option for that in my head at all. But thinking back now, that was the event what brought all this to here, where we are now. And I couldn't be more grateful for all that. And, you know, like, I have another little one since. So it's all a happy ending anyway. But I'm already started to cry. So anyway, I'm trying to keep my marbles together. So because of that, in the first 8 weeks of that pregnancy, I ate ice cream with ice cream. I only felt reasonably good while eating the ice cream, and so I constantly ate ice cream. That put a stone on me within 8 weeks. I already felt crap. I lost the baby. I was going home for a scan, which then didn't happen, obviously. It was summertime, so I just wanted to shred the weight. I wanted to get rid of it. I looked up a really quick diet, and that was a low-carb ketogenic diet, which I started immediately. I knew nothing. I ate eggs, ham, bacon, lettuce, cucumber, and that was me. And obviously, the weight shifted within like 2 weeks. But the other thing what I wasn't expecting is my symptoms were gone. You know, my thyroid was balanced, my sleeping problems disappeared, my gut problem disappeared, my reflux disappeared, I had energy, I could sleep, I would wake up refreshed. So I was like, I don't know what this is, and I didn't care about what it was. It felt good, so I wanted to do it, but I still wanted to conceive. So because of that, I looked up, and there is numerous studies about, yes, going low carb for conceiving, and absolutely no. So there's 50-50. I said, okay, I feel good, so once I feel good eating this way, it must be good for the baby. So I kept going low carb and fell pregnant. And it was all hunky-dory and really good. And because of my age and other histories, they got me in to do a test to test me for gestational diabetes, which obviously came out positive. So, but I said to myself, I'm all good because I eat like this. So I eat low carb, that should be no problem. So anyway, the pregnancy and the cravings and everything put me on to a position where I would look for everything and anything available on the shelves, which there were nothing I would like, or I would like the ingredients and neither the taste. So I started to bake for myself. And that's where all really is started. And then everything else is history. You know where we are now. You know the products where they are now. You follow me. You know how much I put my heart and soul into this. But listen to this one now. And this is where the shocking part comes, which was a real shocker for me too. So back to Granny, okay, who I love to bits. But as I grew up, and the older I got, like teens, and then the more I would understand what was going on, I saw this loving grandmother turning into a bitter, lonely person who would put her anger and bitterness out on everybody, including me. She would always fight with my mother, always. I didn't understand. First I kept saying to my mother, why do you hurt her? She became greedy. She changed a lot. She turned into a different person. She turned into a different person. She was extremely overweight, and she had diabetes, which she clearly couldn't manage. She ate apples with biscuits. Her head went completely off track. She had no friends anymore. Nobody could cope with what she was doing, or the sort of things she would tell you, or the sort of things she would do. Nothing was enough for her, not money-wise, not love-wise. When I moved to Ireland, I was to blame for her being sick. It was really, really, really heartbreaking to see her like that. And I got to a point when I didn't want to drink her anymore, because I didn't want to listen to all the blames she put on me. Shortly after I moved here, she actually passed away. And it doesn't feel good to talk about her like this, but that's the truth. And oh my God, I can't cry now. And lots of years had to go by for me to understand what was this all about. So one morning, and that's going back a year ago, not even actually, it happened last summer. This is a business I built, or this is a business that built me, because I didn't purposely start a business and create low-carb baking. This is for you. That's another story. But anyway, so I'm just going with it, and I allow, and that's the best way to say. But I would always wonder, what is the real reason behind it? So there's a technique where you can really find your real purpose or real reason behind what you're doing. And so I think it is called 6 questions deep or 7 questions deep. So anyway, one morning, 5 o'clock, I usually get up 5 o'clock, sitting in the kitchen, and I started to go through this process of asking me the 7 questions. And so my first question was obviously why I am up at 5 o'clock. And so I would say because, I want to get ready for the day. I want to feed my mind, my body properly. I want to meditate. I want to exercise. But then why do you want to do that? And then I would go on and go on and go on. So I only come to as far as I said. My last answer was sort of like, because healthy is happy and because happy is healthy. But that just didn't make too much sense. So I left it, and 2 or 3 days gone by. I didn't think about the whole thing. Also, again, some early morning in the kitchen, doing my planks. Nobody is there. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just concentrating on my breathing and holding myself up. And then something like a movie within a blink of an eye went here, and it all made sense. Everything made sense. And I'm actually going to do a tasting now, so I really cannot cry, but I'm going to try and keep my marbles together. So I saw a picture from when I was about 3. My grandmother walked me to play school or kindergarten. And as I said, she was extremely overweight. And I remember she's walking me in and all the other kids running under her skirt and laughing at her, the way she looked, and sort of bullying me because of how big she was. And I felt awful. And this is a memory, it's so sharp. This memory came up. And then other pictures started to come up. And suddenly it all made sense. My grandmother's life purpose was to give me the knowledge and the joy for cooking and baking, and see her going through her unmanaged health issues, especially diabetes and all the overweightness caused to her. And there's a lot of things which similar in my life what came in hers, like she had hormonal imbalance, and that's how I started my overactive thyroid and my fertility issues. And I just did not want to go down on the same path. I did not want to be a grandmother in my grandkids' play school who would be the object of these sort of bullying. I didn't want my grandkids to feel bad or ashamed about Granny. I want to be there for my grandkids, to play with them, to enjoy it fully, to love them, to stay the same person, to give them all what I have, and not giving them what my grandmother was giving me out of her own control, because she really got her diabetes absolutely out of control. And it all made sense. So everything she's gone through it to give it to me, to wake me up one day, send me a signal, this is why you're doing it, and understand a lot deeper meaning behind the healthy bake, behind the best free from mixes, behind all what I do, because I want to be a healthy and fit and loving grandmother. And I have been there. I had the diabetes when I wanted to eat everything, and I know with the pregnancy how hard it is with the cravings. But I want to give people the choice to be able to manage their illnesses without medication if possible. And I wanted to give cancer patients the joys of still eating a bread or cake without feeding the cancer. I want to give kids with epilepsy the joys of eating a cupcake, or a diabetic kids having to not to worry about piling up insulin before they could grab a muffin. These are the things what I want to do. And I'll be very honest, I'm very selfish in what I want for me first. But this is what brings all the others as well. And waking up to this one day, everything what I have been through, or everything what my grandmother has been through, was the foundation or the beginning of everything what's happening now, and turning my life around 100% for 100% better, and giving me the purpose, fulfilling my life, doing the thing what I was brought here to do. It is fantastic, like Jose Silva says, you're not here for a 70-year-old coffee break. So you should not stop until you find your purpose. And I'm so happy I found it, and I'm so happy. Now I can see why she's been through all of that, why I had to see her change the way she did, why this all happened. So I can now today give you what I have to give you, and now you can enjoy those products, and you don't have to, when you're diabetic, you don't have to just pile up the insulin if you want a bread. It's so good. And I'm going to Samba now for a tasting, and I really love to go to tastings because I meet like-minded people. I meet people who they understand my language, and it's nothing better than to be around people who they understand what I do and who they appreciate what I do, because my products make their life easier. more enjoyable, their diet more palatable, their kids happier. It's just fucking magic. And I just wanted to share this, and one day I will go into every little bit of a detail. But if I went into it any deeper now today, I would have cried off my mascara, and I cannot let that happen now. Thank you for listening, and it's a beautiful journey, and I'm so happy and so grateful for anyone who follows. And even if you watch this now, it's been 15 minutes, and come to me and talk to me and inspire again the hell out of me, because it's fantastic. Thank you.